welcome to Mystery Mike. Thank you all for tuning in. Well, it's a beautiful day out here in Maryland. It's kind of hot, but the humidity's down. And believe it or not, we're going to another parade today. There's a event in town that always celebrates their little fair and fireworks after the 4th of July. So, believe it or not, we're going there today in the evening. But right now, today, I want to tell a story about a trip that I took out west when I was just a young kid. It was back in the early 80s. I think I was around 22, give or take. And I'm 58 now. Okay. Well, I always wanted to go out west. And I just love the adventure. And I love hunting and I love fishing. And where's a better place than out west? So, me and my brother and a friend of ours got together and we decided, let's go out in Wyoming and pan for gold and do some fishing and exploring. So, we planned the trip probably, I don't know, about 10 months ahead of time. And it was, I guess that was like in the fall or so. And man, I just couldn't wait for the middle of summer to come around. I mean, it seemed like it took forever. And I was working with the school board and I was just a young kid. And man, I just wanted to hunt and fish. I didn't want to work, but you need money to go places and do things. But as young as I was, man, I just wanted to hunt and fish every day and explore. And I was thinking, man, how can I do it without working every day? But you gotta work, you gotta make money. And anyway, I just couldn't wait for that last day at work. And I remember locking up the shop. And I was thinking, whew, man, is this gonna be good? So we went out for, I think it was about a week. And we flew out of Maryland. And I think it was a direct flight all the way over to Denver. Then we rented a car. And then we went up into Wyoming. And the Denver airport was really neat because it has a lot of shops and stores and a lot of Western things in there. And it was really neat and exciting. And then that was at night. Then we took the car, our rental car, and we went up to Wyoming out there. And boy, when we, the next morning to see the mountains and things was really neat. And I believe the first place we went was called the Windy Range, I believe. And it was really neat because along the road we seen these wooden like little trees, but it looked like somebody put them in the ground. And well, actually they did. And man, these things were like 15 feet tall. And then I realized that was up going around the roads so they could push snow. And I'm thinking, good grief, these poles up 10 and 15 feet. I can imagine the snow they would get. And it was the middle of July, and it was snow there when we went out. And it was really neat because here it's the middle of summer and it's still snowing. Matter of fact, it started snowing, and that was really a neat experience for me. I never experienced anything like that. And there was a couple people I seen there, and they had snowboards going down this hill. And I was thinking, boy, isn't this something? Middle of summer and got snowboards. And it was an old mine where people had mined for gold years and years ago, and it was off to the side. Actually, I have a picture of it, but I don't have it with me. I still have it put away, so when I do a story time again, I'll show some more. But anyway, it had that old mine there where years ago, people actually mined for gold, and it had big not too far from there. So we started panning for gold, and we never found no gold, but we found some semi-precious stones, some garnets that you can shine up and make little jewelry out of it. And that was really neat. And seeing some glacier lilies. I'm pretty sure they were really, really pretty flowers. And out there, it's so bright, and no smog or fog or no humidity in the sky. It was like they say, big sky country. It was really pretty. But where we actually went was in the Grand Tetons, and we actually really drove around throughout Wyoming. But one of the first main stops was the Grand Tetons, and we hiked back in. I think it was about 4 miles, and my backpack was well over 50 pounds, if I can remember. And the mosquitoes, oh my lord, they were really rough. The thing is, here on the East Coast, the mosquitoes come out at night, so the birds and don't prey on them. Well, out there, the mosquitoes are larger, and they come out during the day, because at night it's too cold. I mean, in some spots it starts to freeze again, so they're out when you're out. And my cheek, because that was the only thing that were exposed, is my cheeks. Man, they got so sore. We had to wear bandanas, and man, my cheeks started feeling like pin cushions. And anyway, I remember we hiked out about 4 miles, and there was first of all, let me go ahead and show you some of the areas. Now, some of these might be a little mixed up, and I hope this is part of the Grand Tetons here. But anyway, I just want to go ahead and show you a little bit of that. Really, really pretty scenery. And here's a date on the back. It says August 1983. Whew, boy, that goes back some time. And where we went at, there was a pond, not a real big pond, but it was a nice pond, and there was nobody around. Like I said, we're back in about 4 miles, and we're conscientious of grizzly bear. Now, when I went out there in '83, there was only, I'm trying to think how many grizzly bears, because I looked it up. I think it was only like 88 of them in the lower 48 states, somewhere around there. But I think within the time we planned to go out, there was a person in, I believe it was called the Big Bob's Wilderness in Montana, that was killed by a grizzly bear. He dragged him out of his sleeping bag. And I was thinking, good Lord, we don't want to run in any of those. So we kind of made noises as we went, so we wouldn't spook up any grizzlies or get in between them and their cubs, so they would hear us coming if they were any. But now I think there's like 1,500 of them. But no, we didn't see any grizzlies when we went out. But we seen a lot of other wildlife. We seen, I think I jumped up 2 little young moose, if I ain't mistaken. I think they were moose, because they were very young and small, and I just seen them for a short time, and it was just enough to say I think they were 2 moose calves. So anyway, getting back to this pond, there was a pond there, and I was looking at it, and I was thinking, boy, I bet you there's some nice trout in there. Well, there was a feeder stream at one end of the pond, and I was thinking, there's a good place to go ahead and cast, because there's probably some trout there where that feeder stream comes in, waiting for worms and different kind of little bugs to come in. So what I had with me was an ultralight rod, and I had a real small rubber worm with me. And on that rubber worm, I think it was only about 3 inches long, real small, and 2 hooks in it. I was thinking, well, I'm going to throw it right there at the that stream where it just comes into the pond, and I hooked into a nice brook trout. And if I can remember right, I think it might have been 14 inches long. I have some pictures here that I want to show you, but it's kind of really hard to judge the length. So I was thinking, all right, let's try this again. Cast it out, caught another brook trout. They are really, really pretty trout, and nice native trout. So we fried them up that evening for dinner, and they were really, really good. And I still have my license that I bought. I think it was $10 for, I don't know, like just for a week of fishing or something. I still have them put away somewhere. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Let's see, I showed that a picture of those trout I caught here. Okay, it's kind of hard to see them because the background of my shirt, but they're kind of hard to make out. You gotta kind of really look good. But they were two brook trout, and I don't know why I'm thinking 14 inches. I don't know if they were quite that long or not, but they were really pretty trout and very good eating. Like I said, we made them up that night. I was very proud and happy. That's the first time I ever caught brook trout. Okay, and then here's another picture out west there. And it was neat. We all had firearms. I think I had my father's 58 that I was carrying with me at the time, and I believe my brother had a 357, and the other fella had I think a 44 with him. And back then, it was really, you never had no problems carrying a gun on your hip. Well, out there in Wyoming to this day, if you're in Wyoming, you're allowed to carry a gun without a permit as long as you're in the state of Wyoming and you legally own a gun. You can carry it on your hip for protection. So we did that just in case we would run into a grizzly or something, because you never know. But that was a lot of fun. And I remember we had little tents. You had to take a little tent because, you're backpacking this all in. And this stuff's really, heavy. So I remember we just had like little pup tents. And we had our tents set up right by, right next to each other. And when you went into your tent at night, you had to shake off the mosquitoes, just like a dog shaking, and get all the mosquitoes off. And then you kind of shot into your tent, and then zip it up, and then shine the light and smack the ones that got in there. So when you woke up in the morning, you still had blood. And these weren't little mosquitoes; they were quite large. So our plans were to stay into the Grand Tetons, but the mosquitoes were so bad we decided to backpack out and just drive through spots of Wyoming. And one of the spots we went was Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Very, very nice area. And they had a lot of stuff there. And we went into a fish hatchery. And in the fish hatchery, they had lake trout. And just want to get a snapshot of those. And then here's another one that's a little harder to see. And then there was another area of Wyoming we went to. I don't know what it was, but it was a really, really neat place. And we went up and pitched a tent, and that morning we woke up and there was ice on it, but they were cutthroat trout there. And we we caught some cutthroat. Now these weren't as big, but they're also a really pretty looking neat trout. That's the first time I ever caught a cutthroat trout. There they are right there. I'm on the right hand side and my brother's on the left hand side. And that was really neat to catch those cutthroat trout. Well, I have a lot more pictures I could show, and I will do that at a later date for a story time. But just to kind of wrap it up, the brook trout and the cutthroat trout are the only trout that we caught, and that was really exciting because that's the first time we ever caught those species of trout, and that was really neat. It was really a great adventure. About 30 years later, after I got married and had a beautiful family, we went out again, and I'll get into them at another date with pictures and some story time. We never found any gold when I went out there as a youngster like that, but we did find, like I said, some semi-precious stones, and it was a great adventure. Seen a lot of neat stuff, and I'm ready to go back here. It's been 4 years ago that my family went out, and I'm getting itched to go back out again. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I enjoyed telling y'all. I hope y'all have a beautiful day today, and just remember, be someone important, be yourself. Until next time, God bless.